So today, what do I have? Status as usual, GitHub, migration, I will talk about it. Demos from last week. Daniel, are you still up for a demo? To show what you've done on the layout?
Yes, I can show
cool.
something.
Sean wanted also to show something last week and he's here today again. Yes. What happened to Google Hangout? I think we are still in the trial phase with Hangout in the code triage. I'm not yet ready to move to Hangout, but last week was better than the week before. So we are making progress. And so anyone has any demo to do? Zoltan isn't here. I assume he won't. Any subject to talk about this week to add to the agenda?
Maybe we should talk about output cache if you wanted, Sebastian.
Okay. Letting people write stuff. When is the next harvest? Is Zilan here actually? Not yet. So output cache, elections, harvest. What else? Yeah, when, where, for sure. So maybe for the next harvest, I would suggest that the committee decides and we'll tell you in a few weeks what we have decided, if that works for you. Nobody gets the joke. Yes, Sipke gets the joke. Okay, so let's talk about status first. Orchard. So this is 1.8, nothing new on 1.8 since last week. Yes, 2 weeks ago, committed then, okay. And then on 1.x, 1.x, we stopped with Daniel's changes to the framework here. And I can see that Piotr has done a merge from 1.x to the background tasks, but nothing more. Is Piotr here actually? He's not yet here. He's done that in the caching branch. I don't know why. He's introducing a cached class to encapsulate the cached object. Well, I don't know why. I understand why he did that, because to handle the null values, even if you pass a value type. But I think we had said that we should look into Jeff's suggestion on the work item actually, which is better. And he also apparently fixed something in the Redis cache implementation, but it's also related to his previous change. We'll see later. So Sipke, based on the feedback, removed the on-indexing methods in the elements, and he also fixed the spec flow test. They're all passing, actually. I'm wondering.
They are.
How do you know?
I ran them all.
Let's see what the CI says. Green, 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 green. Beautiful. Good job. So good job and good job. Thumbs up. Pushing driver and editor down the element descriptor.
Yeah, I did a little bit of refactoring to support the scenario where you, for example, create an element blueprint, and then you want to turn that into a widget that wouldn't work before due to the current, the former.
Okay.
Yeah, but now that works as well, so it's very natural.
Texture validation. Okay, you fixed that. Oh, it doesn't work. Fix the version and leave not show tokens filter. Oh, you have another filter. Okay.
Yeah, that filter, the tokens filter you implemented during harvest, and that it doesn't work. It only works if you are lucky enough that this filter runs before, because it's a content handler and you can't predict which one will execute first. So if this one executes after the drivers have been executed, then it's too late.
If maybe we need another dependency.
Right.
Okay. Missing feature. Collecting column. Don't care. Null supplying token. Don't care. User part binding. Dynamic forms. Dynamic forms. Dynamic forms. New user activity. I've seen, so approve user activity, create user activity. Interesting.
This enables you to create custom login and registration forms without having to write a custom.
So this is something we could use a demo for. To be nice.
Yeah, working on that.
Okay. Checkbox. Correcting checkbox elements such that it maintains post-back state. So you have a view state.
It's not a view state. No, really, it's when you have a form and you submit. It's a dynamic form, and you have a checkbox, and you enter some values in some of the fields. You check a checkbox, but when you submit and there's a validation error that occurs, the checkbox loses its state. So now I just use the posted value, see if it's there, and if it's there, then it checks the checkbox. Server side, of course, because that was already implemented for the text fields, but not for the checkbox.
Good job, Sipke.
Thanks.
What did I miss here? I sound this chat window. Just checking, is there sound yet? Can't hear anything. Yes, you should check your sound. Okay, cool. Oh, Sean! Wow! What's happening? Crap.
It's Movember.
Well, but you're crazy every month of the year, so... Crazy. Okay. In the order, it should be quick. Output cache. Daniel is mentioning that the output cache has some limitations when there are lots of load on the system, and one item is invalidated. All the requests try to generate the new version, and it can bloat the system. So he's suggesting that we could have either a lock to wait for the new value to be processed, only one thread is processing the value, or even better, I think, to return the stale value because someone is processing the new value. And as soon as the value is processed, everyone will get the new value. I think this is a better scenario. Yep, so this way only one is creating the new value at the same time, and the other ones are waiting for it, well, get the stale value before the new one is ready. So everyone agrees, understands the issue, and that should be a simple fix. Daniel, you agree?
Agree. Yes.
So Sipke, go. That's how it works. We agree publicly and we ask Sipke to do it. Or we could wait. Elections. So let's look at the elections thread just to see who's onboarded on the candidates discussions. Beautiful post by myself. Why is it checked? That's weird. Someone checked. So Sebastian, Sipke, Bertrand, Antoine. So you guys, you have 1 week, one more week to be a candidate. Benedek, what's happening? Is Zoltan here? Zoltan, you haven't answered yet.
Sorry?
I don't see your name here.
Yeah, that's not a technical issue.
Okay, we'll wait. Should we talk about the other thread? The thread? Yes, we'll talk about it. Okay, so Antoine, 1, 2, 3, 4. We need at least one more. Okay. So 1 more week, and next week we'll open the votes. By the way, I saw you, Brett. We talked about you last week. I don't know if you hear us, but we asked Adrian to be the recipient of all the votes, and we were wondering if you could be could be monitoring the elections and ensure that Adrian is not cheating. We thought about you because you don't care about our child anymore, and we trust you. If you're here, if you can hear us, otherwise I will send you an email. Okay, Sipke sending the email. So transparent decision making and open discussions on the occasion of moving to the .NET Foundation. So as expected, as requested, Piotr created a thread about how we decided to onboard on .NET Foundation. And so the main point I could get from that discussion was actually here from Zoltan when you copy pasted. I didn't see this mail actually. Where was it, Zoltan? Maybe it was in another thread. So this is different. Okay.
There's
there are 2 threads.
In my last post, yeah. That's where I copy pasted something.
Because you were mentioning the governance document that we have on orchardproject.net. Let me open it. /governance. Okay, I saw you copy pasted. I don't know where this is, but that. Yeah, maybe transparency, that was it. That all the discussions will be open and, okay. No decisions about the project's direction may be done without community involvement and participation. I think this is that you pointed out. Which I would agree that has been contradicted by what we've done. So I haven't read your last post about it. Let me see. Yeah. I hope you can agree that we took the decision that the community would have gone after. We can assume that because no one from actually this meeting said we should not have gone to the Net Foundation. I could talk alone, but that would not be very open.
This whole conversation dominated kind of like the last meeting. Should we move this to later on in this meeting and get the demos and so on and so forth out of the way?
Yeah, but well, Bertrand wanted to talk about it quickly.
Oh, okay.
So
last time it was quickly and it ended up being this.
Yeah, but this will be more quickly. So we've heard the complaints. There was a call for a governance document that we have here and explaining what we do. I agree that literally we haven't followed this thing, but there were some constraints and we knew about that when we took the decision. And we also thought it was not such a big deal because actually everyone would have followed this conclusion. So it was for the good of the project. And I think it's good that we have this discussion open. We could completely shut down the discussion and not talk about it, but we have something open and everyone can talk about it and can see the discussion, and I think that's good. Bertrand say Sultan's arguments are thoughtful and deserve an answer. Yep. So I will look closer at the question and see what we can answer. I think, Zoltan, a good move from you will be to at least be a candidate for the committee like you did the previous years.
I actually didn't do the previous years. Last year.
Sure.
Yeah, last year we nominated Lombik.
Okay, let's say it's the same for me.
But then the rules were changed.
Yeah, but you still should. I know why you care about Lombik versus yourself, but we agreed it should be people and not entities. And we know Benedek is also representative of Lombik. Maybe you should too. Both of you represent, be candidates. That could be not strategic, but there should be someone from Lombik represented.
We'll think about that.
Okay, cool. Okay, I will read everything. I missed this answer. I've read everything before. I didn't talk much about it because I talk a lot at the Tuesday's meeting, and there is not much to add to what you said. So we'll see. Okay. Okay. So elections. So next week I will create the voting thread. Harvest. When? Where? When? Soon? Where? Somewhere?
Same as last year.
I like, personally, my opinion is that I like this time of the year because it's kind of warm, so it opens lots of possibilities. We can even go north and expect some nice weather. It's kind of not nice to have bad weather when we travel, and people usually take some vacation and can enjoy visiting new cities and new countries. Santa Monica was awesome in terms of weather, kind of like too hot. Amsterdam was kind of wet sometimes. Redmond was kind of dry, actually. If I remember correctly, it was nice weather. So I like this period. June is fine. September, like we did in Santa Monica, is fine too. We can't have August, July because of vacations. May, June is usually fine. I don't know if people agree with that, and it's actually usually when all the conferences are held, May, June. And we don't conflict with the kids' vacations. We don't conflict with your work vacations, and it's also kind of not as expensive as in the summer. So I think we should target for again May, June. Then where? Ilan is not here. Ilan is here.
Or probably September.
Or September. Yep, this is also another solution. The only issue with September, it makes 1 year and 2 months to wait. That could be long, and I don't know. Where? Everything is open. I think let me see what people say. June London School. I don't like it. It's scoring automatically.
Paul is better in London.
What? Where?
I've spoken to Paul Devaney about better gaming.
Paul Devaney, I assume you are from UK. So people say thing. So what do we look for? I assume we will go to Europe this year because we alternate. So Europe is open. Last year we were making a decision between London and Amsterdam. Amsterdam definitely won based on the price, because London might be expensive in terms of hotels and also location where we want to do the event. The advantage with London is that there's a big community of orchard users in London compared to other cities. This is actually the only city where I could think, location or region where I could think about many of the users. I assume Paul, we can see the guys from Move2, Nick. There are lots of people. Steve Taylor, I think, also is around there. Lots of people we know and create websites there. I never forget you, Nick. You're my default answer. So maybe there are opportunities in London. It can be also open to Far East. I see Piotr, Zoltan suggesting his countries. Zoltan has suggested it for a long time, actually, so that's also something to take into account. That might be harder. I don't know, but I assume that would be harder to go there from the US. London is easier, actually, because direct flights. Poland and Hungary might be harder. It could be somewhere, like Nick is mentioning, somewhere totally different. If it has to be hard, let's make it hard, and let's go somewhere lost. I don't know. It could be something like Barcelona, which is might be easy to get in, and also might be cheaper. I would assume Spain is cheap, so cheaper actually than London for sure. So everything is open. We might want to talk about it on the forum just to have some suggestions, and then we can see if people have good ideas. It's always good if we have someone local to help. For instance, in Santa Monica, we had Ilan and One Stop. That was awesome. In Amsterdam, it was hard because we didn't have any local. Sipke helped a lot, but he was not in Amsterdam. but it went fine too because they spoke English actually, so that was easier. We will not do that in France because they don't speak English. We could not. Well, we speak French. That's fine. Yeah, France is another solution. Brussels, someone mentioned Brussels because it's also in the middle of Europe. It should be easy to get there. Yeah, so you know all the details. It has to be not expensive because we pay. Someone pays, you pay, everyone is paying for that. And the more parties we can do, the better we are. Yep. Oh, and a country without any political conflict, or okay, I don't know what you think. Yeah, Poland and Hungary are far east, maybe too close from big countries who want to expand. I don't know. Yeah, no, Poland, not that much. That's risky.
There is Ukraine between the countries that want to expand and Hungary.
In 1 year, so many things can change. Crazy. IY would be awesome. I agree, Bertrand. But it's far. It's hard to get there. It's expensive. It's beautiful and warm, but well, let's do 2 people. Oh, actually, sorry. There is. I forgot to write on the link. There is a company in Hawaii who built a new website. A new website with Orchard. So they are. Yeah, web agency. They did an Orchard website. Ah, crap! I should have. So there are some Orchard users in Hawaii. Yeah. So we all agree May, June should be the best season. Maybe if one day we want to do it in a winter, we could go on the South Hemisphere. That could be another solution one day, maybe next year. But Europe right now. I think that we agree Europe and May, June, and then we'll have to talk about London, Barcelona, other cities. Let's talk about it on the forum. We'll see if people have good suggestions and also can help. Lombic has already stepped up and suggested they could help on the organization because nobody talks the local dialect. Okay, cool.
The local dialect of English, yes.
Is what?
The local dialect of English.
Of English? No. You have a local dialect. Hungarian, something like that. I don't know. I see you typing some messages sometimes in the forum. I don't get what you say. Cool. Any question about harvest? Other question than that? When and where? We don't have any answers, but we can start talking about it and see the trends. I think that's what we can do today. And if there are 100 people on the forum who say, yes, come to London, I will buy a ticket, then we'll do it in London. So if you guys from UK really want to push it, prove that there is enough people who will join. Okay, harvest 1.9. 1.9 is late because nobody is fixing the bugs. Sipke. We are waiting for 1.8 and 1.9 to be shipped at the same. Daniel, yes, you are, and you will say yes. There are PRs that are waiting to be merged, but yeah. Yes, Sipke.
I'm just adding new features. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, because you are using 1.x, you don't care because it's like you are using 1.9, okay? But some people are waiting for the final 1.9. That's why. Are there any bugs? I had the impression everything is perfect. Not bugs. We are just making things better. Yeah, I understand. Yep. But it's not ready yet. We will update the...
Is it just outstanding issues slated for 1.9? Do we have a 1.9 target on Codeplex? And is it also about outstanding pull requests that we want to include?
Just the issues, and some of them are fixed by pull requests.
Right. Okay.
So once all the high priority issues for 1.x and 1.8x are fixed, we ship.
Okay.
Okay. GitHub. So let's try to fix a limit to the discussion, but so GitHub. People have requested by the past, why don't we move to GitHub? Okay, we did move to Git, but so that everyone agrees, GitHub is not equals to Git. It means GitHub is a website. Git is the tool we are using to do our source control. But GitHub uses Git. So we are already on Git, and the questions were about what about moving to GitHub. As you might guess, one of the previous reasons why we were not on GitHub was political, because we're on Codeplex, because it was initially created by Microsoft and owned by Microsoft. It's open source. Now, for years, it has been completely separated from that. One political issue would have been, yes, if we decide to move from Codeplex, Microsoft could say, hey, Sebastian, you don't work on Orchard anymore. Okay, we don't contribute, so that was one of the issues. But now we can move to GitHub if we want. There is no limitation at all. Okay. So we could vote about it. We could ask what the community thinks. And yes, yeah, we'll talk about it, Nick, also. So we can move to GitHub. Who doesn't want to move to GitHub?
My only concern here is the loss of the discussions.
Yes, so I can talk about it. So I've thought about everything, and I have solutions for everything. Let's talk about it. You see my points: work items, forum, and code. The main difference between GitHub and Codeplex is that GitHub doesn't have any forum, and the forum is maybe, if not definitely, the most important feature we have on our websites. Okay, for lots of reasons: for talking, for exchanging, for the community, for learning Orchard. That's the main point of knowledge. So we need the forum. The work items. We don't want to lose all our work items because the history is very important. If we have to lose it, I will say, okay, we can live with that. But I have a plan not to lose anything. And then the code. What did I mean by code? I don't remember, but I think there is no issue. Yeah, the full history will be preserved because that's Git to Git. We will just have to update our remote servers. So for the work items, so for the forum, what I think we should do is use Discourse. Discourse because it has lots of nice features. It's the cool.
Do we have to pay for it, or do they have an open source?
So we don't have to pay for it. We can pay them if we want them to host it, but we can host it on Azure. And if you look at the .NET-Foundation.org website, which is done with Orchard, they are using Discourse, okay, and it works fine. And they are running it on Azure. So the plan will be that we could use the credits we have from Microsoft to host Orchard and to host this on a VM, on a small VM that we could have in our Orchard subscription on Azure. So that would be cool. That would be good. This will be the forum. Then there are two issues.
Is it also reliably maintainable? Because I think it's a Ruby or something like this.
Yes.
It's not .NET based.
For us, it will be hard because it's not .NET based, but I don't expect us to do any change to the forum itself. The other solution
just updates and everything patches. It's one more thing to maintain.
I agree. Same thing with our website. I agree, but this thing works. The only discussion we could have about forum would be, should we use another forum product or Orchard and Nick's module? I'd rather use Discourse because I don't want to fix or to have to code any new feature.
Yeah, I agree.
And Discourse comes with lots of things that we don't have today in Nix forum. And look at the load of our forums. It's huge. And I don't think Nix forums could support that.
Yeah, it could. But I actually prefer I actually like Discourse at the moment, so I think we should just use it.
Okay, but we have thought about it. Some people have thought about it. And Discourse works on Azure, so that's fine. We could have the same infrastructure to host everything. But I agree, Zoltan, that's another thing to care about and to patch if there are patches. Hopefully it's kind of easy because there are lots of users, and I'm sure there's a way to do that. So today, for instance, it's very hard for us to patch the website and the gallery. I think it will be easier to patch this Discourse VM than our current cloud service-based gallery and website. But that's a good concern. Then there is the migration. For the migration, we need to migrate the forum threads, posts, and everything, and the work items. So the work items will go into GitHub's work items. To migrate, the good news is that I have access to the SQL database, a read-only version of the SQL database for Codeplex. So we can export everything, every forum post, every work item with all the information we have in that to GitHub/Discourse. GitHub has some tools to import everything we want, like work items and the rest, but we just care about work items. And Discourse also has a format to import all the discussions. So this is something we can do. This is some work, but this is doable.
But what about migrating the work items, issues, and stuff like that? We can do the same? As you were saying about the forums.
And also, I also say work items.
Ah, okay.
Didn't I say that, guys? Maybe it wasn't clear, but I think it was clear.
You did say, yeah.
Okay. Is there a soccer game right now, Piotr?
No. I just misheard.
Okay, sorry. So yes, we can move everything, work items and forums. So technically we can do that. And by the way, if we can even envision to migrate or to map GitHub usernames to Codeplex or Codeplex usernames to GitHub usernames. So this way we will even keep the social links with your accounts, the ownership of the items, and so that will be cool, I assume. Am I missing anything in the chat? Just let me know because I'm not reading everything and I don't want to miss.
Sean's comment, maybe.
Sorry, Sean.
It was only Sean's comment. It was about. It was like 4 posts up from the bottom. Maybe that was it. I think that's the most relevant one.
Yeah, we would still use Orchard for the gallery and for the homepage. So
oh yes, this is different.
Still dogfooding it.
Yeah, this is different. The website and the gallery will still be on Orchard. The forum will be on Discourse, and that's why I'm also mentioning the netfoundation.org. You see, their website is on Orchard, their blog is on Orchard, and the forum is just on Discourse. Like today, our documentation is on ASP.NET web pages, and that's how we do. And today, our forum is not on Orchard; it's on Codeplex, so that's nothing lost from that point of view. So that's the status. We can move to GitHub. We have technical solutions to move to GitHub. We just need Sipke to get some vacations and work on that. That's a plan. And let's not make too big plans actually, because we know even the simple tasks might take a long time. And also, yeah, no, that's fine. Cool, GitHub. Demos, because we need time for demos. Daniel, ready?
Yes. How did this work again? Is everybody a presenter by default?
Yes.
Sebastian, when do we move to GitHub? Or when do we move one dot whatever to GitHub?
When the export routines are ready.
Okay. Tomorrow?
So yeah, maybe I will try to see if I can get someone who would like to help a copy of just our data and export. I don't know if I can technically and legally do that. So, or at least show the schema. I don't know. I will ask, and if anyone would like to take the task to create an export from this, technically it's just ETL. You get the tables. We have to convert it in a specific format. Just read and write a specific format. So that shouldn't be that hard, and we can try as many times as we want on GitHub to create that. Oh, and just to mention that also, Nick is currently playing with ASP.NET VNext and try to push Orchard VNext on the ASP.NET VNext, and I created on the Orchard CMS organization on GitHub a project called Brochard, which hosts the code base right now, so it's public and anyone can play with that and help him. Not an official effort, just some random guy wanted to play publicly with Orchard. Brochard, because this is Orchard that you can tell your bro to use because you're proud of it. If you don't get that, just watch the Harvest conference about Orchard VNext. Daniel, go.
Yeah, we're having connectivity issues here. It says the presentation cannot start because of an error.
What?
Loading. Nope. Cannot start.
Yeah, I received an email that I will move to another link, and even better than the better one I got moved to 2 weeks ago, a new link server.
I'm gonna try the web version, see if that helps. You do? Okay, just proceed without us for now, and I'll try to sort things out here.
Sean, you want to show something in the meantime? You asked to show something.
Yeah, sure, I will do that.
So do, because I'm sure you don't have connectivity issues.
Well, I seem to be doing okay. I'm just going to say, what do I click on to share my screen? I've never done this.
There is a little, yes, you've done that.
Program, desktop, there we go. Okay, share monitor, 1, 2, 3. All right. Let me know when you can see.
We are waiting for Benedict to see.
Okay. Can Benedict see?
It's loading.
So what this is, just while Benedict is waiting, it's an inexpensive continuous integration solution for those who don't have the money to afford expensive tooling, like I think the Orchard project uses TeamCity. Anyways, this is Project Kudu's website. It talks about webhooks, and one of the scenarios, oh, not webhooks, where is it? Anyways, deployment hooks. It might have been deployment hooks. Down at the bottom here, it gives some script to create a deployment script. So I'm just going to show that. If you look here, I don't know if you can see it. Anybody can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yep.
This is just the standard Orchard directory. And if we run this script here, whoops, not lib. Hold on a second. Didn't mean to open lib. Oh, goodness. Okay. We run this guy. It's a script that just says, create a deployment script with a web application project for orchard.proj, which is what we run when we run build precompiled. And it points to the solution. So if we run that, it quickly creates this deployment script that's the out-of-the-box one. And so if we do look at the directory now, we now get .deployment and deploy.command. So I've customized deploy.command to look like this, deploy.orchard.command. And if I open up WinMerge, you can see that I just had to do a few things. A little block of code here, which I won't get into. I'm just showing that it's very minimal changes. And then down here, I use precompiled instead of compiled, and I take out one line of pipeline pre-deploy copy all files to one folder. So what happens when we do this is that when I push to GitHub, and I've got continuous deployment hooked up with Windows Azure, so it pulls it in, it builds inside Windows Azure. So this is Windows Azure, and it deploys to, if I go back a page, it goes to repository, which shows the entire Orchard directory here that you're used to seeing. And then it builds by running the build precompiled and adds one of these deployment files, which tells me how my deployments are doing. And the result is that in www.root, I get the result of build precompiled in my Azure website every time I push to the master branch. So that's the overview. And the reason I like this is because I don't have to use TeamCity. I can use an out-of-the-box deployment script from Kudu and just change a few environmental variables, and now I've got a continuous integration solution that runs really nicely. So it's the poor man's CI.
Cool. So David, fuck me, David Aiden, crap. David Aiden had done a blog post a few years back about this feature, explaining how to do that in Orchard, but it was actually the simple deployment script, which would just be, run the local website that do not do any build. So it was actually shortcutting the build, and this was then using the dynamically compiled things. But your script here is better because it's using the precompiled, so it's more like a production environment than the dynamic compilation. So
That's
it's
right.
cool. I like it.
Thank
And
you.
I like it even more because David
How quick is it?
who is the leader of the project, is also French, so French vibe here. Good.
Yeah.
How quick is it?
Nick asked how quick it is. It takes more than 10 minutes, but less than 20 minutes. So I'm still trying to keep it down. I've been removing some modules, like I remove a few modules to speed it up, but I'm still working on getting the speed down.
Okay.
Yes, removing a module is a wrong strategy because people might need this module. What the good strategy is, don't push the modules you don't want to use. Fine, then they won't be compiled and it will be easier. At least between 10 and 20 minutes, that's still good solution. That's CI, and by the way, it includes also, it can include if you put it. We might even have a specific target for that. We could call it Kudu, and it will precompile and maybe run the test if we want.
I think it does run the tests.
It depends on what target you are calling. Precompile does not run the tests.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Precompile is just precompiling everything. That's it. The default build will run the test and might be even longer because running the test will be super long in this context.
Yeah.
But that's a good solution if for people who don't care about spending 10-20 minutes for each master. That's cool. And every module you would push on your repository would also be included and precompiled. That's cool. I like it.
It is really nice. It's currently what Enviro Issues is using. They hired me to create a continuous integration solution for them, and this is what they're using now, and it works pretty well.
So are you going to open source it? Are you going to send it out so we can take
blog post?
There's a link that I put there. Here, I'll do it again.
Blog post and maybe also from the documentation, a link to that.
It's all in the blog post.
To answer Bertrand's question about where do we see the test results and the log, directly in the dashboard, if some tests have failed, you see the build failed. Well,
let me just show them here. In the deployments file here, do you see my screen? Site deployments, you can open this up. Whoops. And there's a log here.
Yeah, but
if you look at the log, it'll show you, like every time you refresh this page, it shows you a log of everything that's happened, exactly what you see when you run build recompiled.
Do you agree that if you go on the Azure dashboard, you will also see the build has failed and why in the test?
Yeah, it's the same thing that you see, but you can see this in real time before it finishes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, that's cool. Great demo. Daniel?
Yes, sir.
Works now?
I don't know, I'll have to try again. I rooted and reconnected and did.
Okay, so click on request control when you can.
Yeah, it looks like it's working this time, actually.
Great. I can see your screen. We'll wait for Benedek.
I can see it too.
Who's the girl in the picture? Sipke?
No, she has too much chest hair. Sipke doesn't have any chest hair.
It's one of those girls that Sipke considers very beautiful, Nick.
Oh, okay.
So is this one on the far left here, and this one in the middle.
Sipke likes everyone.
Yeah, anything with a pulse. Thank you. Okay, so anyway, this won't be a very impressive demo. In fact, it's not even going to be in Orchard because what I've whipped together is not integrated yet. Sipke and I are working on that right now. But so basically, if I take our start page as an example, this is something that we built using the layouts module. And when I was building it out, I realized that the functionality of the layouts module is great. It enables some really good scenarios, but I think the usability and the graphics of the editor were a little frustrating to me. There's a lot of Chrome, borders and stuff, and handlebars and things pop up and down, and they kind of cover one another. So, at least to me, it's not always clear on what you're hovering over. And also because of all of that Chrome, there's a lot of extra space in the editor.
Yeah.
You still hear me?
Yeah, everyone agrees.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I'm talking for everyone. I think everyone agrees. I voted for everyone, and they all agree.
Great. And I wanted to make this something that was a little closer to WYSIWYG. So it won't ever be exactly what's rendered on the front end, because then there's a theme that might modify things. But at least I wanted this to get as close as possible to something that's at least has is the semblance of a preview. So what I came up with instead was something like this. This is the exact same content, only styled differently, and it has a slightly different interactivity to it. So here in the default mode, as you can see, there's no Chrome at all. It's just the content rendered in the layout that it would be. But if you start hovering over things here, you'll see subtle borders being rendered on top of the different elements in the structure. So the structure here is that there's a canvas in the bottom, there's a grid, and then there's three rows. In this top row, there's 2 columns. In this column, there's 2 elements, and then there's 3 columns down here. And as you kind of hover over these, you'll see what each of those are. So that makes it easier to get a feel for how this would look eventually when it gets rendered on the front end. But of course, you also want to maybe get a better overview of the structure of an element, like where is it in the grand scheme of things. Like if I hover over this HTML content element here, it's not really obvious to me where is that in the layout in the grand scheme of things. So if I click it, then it becomes selected, and that's when I can modify it and edit its properties and drag it around and interact with it in all kinds of ways. And I also show in this view by gradual levels of highlighting from the selected elements and all the way down to the root. Like you can see that the shade of green kind of fades back to the background. And I think that gives you, a clear enough but subtle view of where this element is structurally, where it's nested in the structure of things.
So is it the experience that you want to put in the admin?
Pretty much, yeah. That's
okay.
what I was hoping.
I like it.
You think it's directionally,
I like it. I still think we should have the plus button somewhere in the big one to show where you can inject stuff and then you can add stuff.
Oh, but Sebastian, I'm not finished.
Yeah, but I'm sorry.
So right now I've selected just an HTML element, and that you can't add any more content to that. You can only edit it. But if I go out to here, for example, and select its parent column, then you can do more stuff. You can split the column, you can edit it, and you also have this plus icon here to add more elements to it. And that's true for any element that's a container. So if you select a column, or if you select a row, but then you get the plus icon over here, because to a row you can only add columns, and those are kind of logically added to the end of the stack.
There is really something that bothers me here. Do we have to make it green?
No, pick any color, man.
It's a brochure, so it should be green.
Oh yes, you're right.
Orange
will be Umbraco, red will be the nuke. So yeah, green is fine.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so
that's awesome.
So like any container
Sipke,
element,
what you did so far looks like crap compared to that.
I agree.
You should revert all your changes.
Yeah, I'm already rolling back. It's fine.
That's beautiful.
And then if you click outside of the canvas, then everything gets deselected, and you can kind of go back to preview mode. And by the way, this is all built on it's backed by an underlying JSON object that contains all of the data for the layouts and all the elements, and then it's data bound to that JSON with using Angular data binding.
No, that I don't like.
Oh, you don't like it? Why is that? Hello?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the answer.
Because it did make the markup and the JavaScript code and the styling much cleaner.
I'm sure. I need to think about it. But I love the end result.
Good.
It's beautiful. And I'm sure on a nice website it will be even more beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah, in fact, if you look at the markup on the root level, then there's actually just a custom directive. It's just an orchard layout canvas.
So what is Sipke using right now? Is he using any MVC library, any Knockout, Angular, whatever?
No, it's all vanilla JS with jQuery. So it's JavaScript and jQuery UI.
Okay.
But this implementation is very clean, and the nice thing about this is we can reuse this editor without needing the orchard side of things. So we can use it in other places and use a completely different server-side architecture. It's highly decoupled, very flexible, highly maintainable.
Yeah, I also wanted to show, I haven't added the drag and drop interactivity yet, but basically, so like if you select a column and you hover over the edges, you see like this, it's resizable in both directions, and that's just going to work intuitively the way that you expect it to.
Okay, that's great. Simple, beautiful, like it.
Glad to hear it.
That's all what Sipke is not actually. Simple and beautiful.
I think you're thrashing him unfairly.
Or maybe that's me. I'm not. No, that's me. I'm not beautiful and I complexify everything. Yeah, I'm just projecting on Sipke. Oh crap! I need to talk to my. How do you say here? My
psychiatrist.
There's a word for that. Yeah, but there's a word. What do you say, guys? Here, my shrimp. No, my. What do you say?
Shrink.
Is that it?
Shrink. Head shrink.
Shrink. Shrink. Ilan is alive. Hey, Ilan. Okay, that's cool. We talk about it. I like it.
Okay.
Beautiful. Thanks everyone. Anything to add before we end the meeting? Not too fast because I can't read the chat. Scrolling too fast. Swimming pool, I don't care. No, we are not holding the new layout before the next major version. It will be 1.9. But I should read this forum thread that you're mentioning. A quick question about 182. Can I try fix something? If you think it's blocking important Qt1, please submit a pull request and open a work item and come to the triage meeting. And I know you are doing everything. I'm just saying, I just said, and raise the issue during the triage meeting every Thursday. You came last week on Thursday. So every Thursday, but not this Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. And I'm not sure we will have anyone. We can try after all. So all the European guys will say, yes, we can do that, we don't care. Sean will say, yes, we can do that because he doesn't have the same Thanksgiving as the rest of the US. And let's try it. I will see if I can join, and I should be able to. Okay, let's try. So let's forget about me saying no Thursday meeting. Thanks everyone. See you on Thursday.
Bye bye.
And thanks for all the good work.
Cheers, guys.
See you guys.
Bye, everyone.